Welcome to the Barbershop Show. I'm your host, Matt Horner, and today I have a great guest, a very special person in my life, my identical twin brother, Woodrow. He's also a barber. How you doing today?
I'm doing good.
Well, this week has been a different week for the world and Texas, especially in Houston. Hurricane Harvey has came in, and it just made me realize I've been watching TV all weekend long. Today's Monday, so we're getting back to the studio and stuff. And all weekend, all I've seen is people living in this hurricane and the stuff that they're having to deal with. And it made me realize if I was ever in a natural disaster, especially like flood that we've been thinking about, what would I grab? Mm-hmm. And if I woke up in the morning, here's the scenario I'm going to lay out before you. And if, for those people who need to know my brother here, he is a country boy at heart, beekeeper, just kind of, if I was going to say anybody who my family I would go with in a doomsday scenario, prepper scenario, it would be my brother right here, Woodrow. And
I take that as a really big compliment.
That is a big compliment. You know, like when the crap hits the fan, I'm like, what is Woodrow doing?
You'd be in my safe pod.
Thank you. I'd want to be in your safe pod. I mean, would you... Who else? Can I bring my dog? We might need some food.
Yeah. Bring some soy sauce.
And some soy sauce. Got to do that. So today's show is really going to be about what would you do if you woke up one morning and you look down and you got 3 foot of water in your house and you got 45 minutes. How would you, and you're in Houston, what would you do? So,
well, I know we talked about this coming back, and you said, don't talk about it. Let's make it improv. So I kept things in my mind.
Uh-huh.
And I come back to the movie Waterworld.
Waterworld, yeah. So how would you live like Waterworld? Because that is the city of Houston right now.
They had some pretty cool boats.
They did.
Jet skis and all kinds of things. So your jet ski's like your motorcycle.
Yeah.
And I also know that I am a frugal man. And I'll always live on a tight budget because, money burns a hole in my pocket.
It does.
So I'd be more of the camper style. I probably wouldn't worry about leaving. If I'm there, I'm already flooded. I'd probably make my roof my domain.
Your domain?
Or a better roof.
A better roof.
Yeah.
So would you just camp out on your roof until...
Well, yeah, I'd probably have tents and camping, a campy, and I had my Coleman stove out. I got one of these things that's like I can pour water into it, and it filters it, holds about 2 gallons.
Like a Berkey?
It's a Berkey, kind of, yeah. And, I'd make it a vacation time,
Family camp out. You do a family camp out on your roof?
There's a lot of things in the city, if you put a lot of water around it, it's like a water park.
It's a water park. All of a sudden, it's like, let's find some adventure.
Oh, yeah. All of a sudden, you got a slide at the park.
It's a water slide now.
It's a water slide. You got all sorts of things. You can make lots of cool rope swings off things that
you normally couldn't. Your elevation's a lot higher now because you can float everywhere.
And it's a time game. That water's not going to stay there for months.
No, maybe a week.
Maybe a week. And how much are you going to spend out a week at the motel?
So
and you're going to go out to eat.
So what you're saying is
financially,
you're not thinking, and I was the exact opposite. I'm trying to figure out finding things that's going to float and that I could put stuff in and take with me.
Yeah, see,
and
it'd be my float device would be more recreational use.
Recreational use, not about saving your stuff.
No, I mean I'd have a dry area. It'd be on a roof somewhere, and it would also. I'd make sure my little roof would also protect me from the crazies.
I think you're going to be part of that crowd like in Katrina that were on the roof yelling, "Help me," laying out your clothes, spelling help.
No.
They're going to come having to get you with
No. I'm pretty, I'm pretty good fishing. Me and you go fishing. You always,
You're the best fisherman.
And I'm always like, oh, man. I remember even on your, you're not going to like me bringing this up, but I remember us on your bachelor, not bachelor, what was it? When we take the guy before the wedding for the party, what do you call that?
Bachelor party.
The bachelor party.
Yeah.
You was too afraid to hold the catfish to unhook it. So,
Yeah, last time he'll ever be on the show.
It's all right.
And you kind of the guy who wade out and
when I go fishing, I'm already in the water. I'm a wade fisher guy.
Yeah. You'll stick your hand in a hole and noodle?
No.
No, you're not that crazy.
No. Noodling, is just asking to
Lose a finger.
Yeah.
I saw on the news that alligators and stuff are going everywhere in
Yeah.
Houston. There's some meat
This
right
is
there.
probably like it's illegal to kill an alligator, but in a flood scenario and you're in a city, that might be the time you could do away with it and get away.
Yeah, like for safety.
For
you
safety,
have to.
So to me it'd be like, oh wow, I don't even have to get a stamp or tag on this deal.
Yeah, this is totally legit. Nobody's gonna stop you on that.
No one's gonna stop me. There's an alligator at Walmart.
So you would I would probably, your house is ruined. You're gonna get insurance money.
Yeah.
I would go ahead and break out the chainsaw, start cutting up my roof to a point where you can make yourself a shelter.
Well, yeah.
Make a more flat platform.
Yeah.
And maybe cut some of the joist structural stuff out that you can rearrange it so you're not sleeping on a slope. You're not having to stand on asphalt shingles, and you can create some shade, but yet still be elevated.
Well, there's a lot of roofs that are flat.
Yeah. Parking garages, old hotels, old downtown buildings.
Yeah, that's a lot of effort and time to.
So you would abandon your residential house and
probably.
find a higher.
I'd find a nice flat roof that would have a petition about 2 foot tall.
Yeah. So that way you could stop the hordes of people coming to get your stuff.
Maybe.
So if you're leaving your house, what would you grab?
What would I grab?
Because obviously now you're saying you're leaving your house. You're going to find tall, flat ground and wait it out.
Yeah. Well, I definitely would grab things you could keep things that are waterproof. They make these great duffel bags that I have that are waterproof duffel bags. So, of course, I don't know how high the flood waters would be in your house, but typically I have a dresser and I have a lot of stuff could be dry-ish. Say if the water's 2 foot, I have some clothes and stuff and closets and stuff. I definitely take soap for injuries, antibacterial things. I take honey, and I would take coffee. Definitely, I would probably be packing some heat.
Get some guns with you.
Guns with me, but I also would take a lot of fishing gear, and I would take a hammock. That way you don't have to sleep on the ground. If you want to put things up high, you could sleep, tie something to a joist or a wall or a stud.
Some type of covering, a tarp.
Rope covering, Houston's pretty hot. It's not really like you're going to be needing, covers and blankets. You need a pillow maybe. But
Some dry clothes.
Even
if your clothes get wet, if you have a rope, you can hang them up to dry, and a day later you could be wearing them.
Yeah.
So you just wait it out.
Wait it out, chips and water. But really, water is not so much as important as a way to clean water to drink it.
So you'd have your filtration system.
I'd have my filtration system.
Yeah. Pretty interesting. I would try to figure out how I could float a lot of stuff, and I would try to find. I'd take my refrigerator, I'd empty it out, and I'd turn my refrigerator into a boat.
I mean, what's crazy is that when something crazy happens in America, America takes care of America, but when another country, something crazy happens, America takes care of them. Where's the other countries?
Yeah. Well, it's early on. Who knows what will happen? But it is seemed that way when there's a tsunami or a big mudslide or earthquake in some third world country.
I do think it's easy to row. I wouldn't say easy, but I will think if you put some effort into it and stuff, there's helicopters and stuff. And, you got HEB, the Baptist Men. You got a lot of groups going down there.
Red Cross.
Yeah. And there, when I was watching the news, there's like boats everywhere. Just looks like every redneck and his John boat's out there to help somebody.
Man, if I had a pontoon boat right now, I wouldn't be doing this show. I'd be out there having some fun.
Yeah, it would be fun.
Yeah.
So
let's go buy a pontoon boat. Take the week off.
You know what I'd do to the guys that are like really grouchy and unthankful for helping them? I'd make them have a paddle boat.
Like the foot pedal bicycle style paddle boat.
It's like, oh, I'll save you. Here's a paddle boat.
Here's a paddle boat, you grouch.
You grouch. Paddle your way back.
Give him a paddle. I would deal with this. You know those little blow up inner tube boats?
Yeah.
With the
little tube.
You throw them a box, said, blow this up, you'll be all right. For the grouches. That'd be funny. If you live in that area, obviously hurricanes anywhere on the coast.
It's raining still.
that's just something you should always be prepared for is extreme weather like this.
Yeah.
I'm kind of shocked if you're not prepared and you're living in the hurricane area, especially this last one, Harvey. And we've just recently, I mean, Katrina was years ago, but it's still on everyone's mind what could really happen on a bad hurricane and flood.
Yeah, pretty fresh.
And last week, the governor of Texas and all the mayors, except the Houston mayor, who probably now wishes he would have done things differently, all said prepare, get your fresh water, go to the grocery store, get your essentials, leave. Yeah. If you have family up and out of the hurricane area, you should leave. I
understand the guy that chooses a state that can't swim. The guy that chooses a state that can't swim, you really scratch your head off.
Yeah, like I couldn't swim. You wonder about that guy, but you know that's who God sends that hurricane for.
Yeah, you hope.
Take out the weak, I guess. Natural disasters. But it's amazing how many people don't know how to swim.
I know. Out of all the sports, football, basketball, swimming, what one sport can save your life?
Swimming. That's the only thing.
If you have a child, that's probably one of the most important things you could do for them athletic-wise is teach them how to swim.
Yeah. Basketball's never going to save their life. A football, a baseball, but swimming.
Or help someone...
Or help someone else. Yeah, save one. Yeah, so, and if you live in an area of the coast, not teaching people to swim is shocking. I can understand people get disabled and they can no longer swim.
Yeah. But luckily we had Boy Scouts.
We had Boy Scouts taught us to swim.
Remember having to make our life jackets out of our blue jean pants?
Uh-huh. You would tie the knots in the leg holes.
Slap it over, bring it over your head and slap it.
Fill it full of air, and you could turn your pants into life jackets.
That's a very unique skill.
It's a unique skill. We had to do that in the river.
Yeah. Navy
SEAL Boy Scout training right there. Yeah, they don't do that anymore. Now they call them sissy scouts.
There's a lot of things we could go to detour on that deal.
Yeah. Yeah, back when we had dads running Boy Scouts.
Well, nowadays the blue jeans they wear, they're skinny jeans. And they don't
hold the air. Yeah, it's normally an overweight kid wearing skinny jeans, so he's already overweight. And then you give him too small of a jeans, he's gonna die. He's not
gonna work out well.
It's not gonna work out well. So, thank goodness we didn't have handheld video games like they do now, because we'd go on a camp out and we would just sit and play video games, but we didn't. We got to go do rock wars and swim and
King of the Hill.
Yeah, King of the Hill. Dump each other's canoe out.
Yeah, makes you tougher.
Ready to survive Hurricane Harvey. I bet you there's some good Eagle Scouts, older Eagle Scouts right now, just hanging in tight. In Houston and other areas.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, but man, it's funny you brought up Waterworld. That's what Houston is right now. Is that movie Waterworld? So
I wonder how many gang fights are going on.
Gang fights, yeah.
I mean, like, is there different turf wars now? There's...
Yeah. That street that's covered with water, is that the Bloods or the Crips? I don't know.
Don't know. I need to go to barber school and find out.
At the barbershop, they know at the barber school. So it's going to be a different environment. I think I would be more wanting to just leave the area and try to grab the stuff. I would be more like things that I could sell and try to save that's not going to get ruined. Small things. Of course, any money, gold, jewelry, knives, guns, I would want to take with me. Medication.
What I don't understand about gold is cool, but in the doomsday scenario or whatever, say you need a loaf of bread. What are you going to trade?
That's when you whip out your pocket knife and you cut a sliver of gold. Give him.
Really?
You think that will happen?
No.
He's like, I'll cut a sliver of gold off for a piece of bread, and then he can take that gold and trade something else.
I don't know. I don't see that working.
I think that guy's going to laugh in your face.
I think so. But I think you could say, hey, I'll give you, 22 bullets.
Yeah.
For that loaf of bread.
22 bullets. So bullets will be more of a bargaining chip than...
I think so in the beginning.
And
even long
gasoline too right now.
Oh, gas. Yeah.
I imagine right now in Houston, if you just have good gas, that's a big deal because all those gas
refineries are closed.
They're closed, and the gas stations there are covered with water. You don't know if their gas is any good. It could have water in it.
I wonder how those electric cars did in the water flood.
Yeah, they might be so airtight they float. Put
They might
paddles
be.
on them.
Yeah.
I was watching Alaska Frontier, and the guy had a 4-wheeler, and he put buoys around his,
I saw that.
and he turned his 4-wheeler
Into-
into a like kind of homemade paddle boat. Put paddles on the wheels and put a snorkel on it.
There's a lot of things.
You could do. So, if I was living in Houston and woke up, I don't know. I do like the idea of you just quickly turning it into a fun camp out.
Well, I don't really see it being maybe a week or 2 weeks.
Roughing it.
And I think most people in life in America probably have less than $1,000 in their bank account. Where are you going to go?
Yeah, you got to drain that $1,000 bucks.
You're going to drain that 1,000 real quick. You know, you're going to be depending on the charity of others, which is great to see that. But also, there's a part of me that says, you know, just wait it out, save some money. You know, there's a lot of opportunity there that everybody's running away from that you have to succeed at.
What's the opportunity you see there?
You got a town that took care of millions, now it's just abandoned.
You're talking about the future finding looting?
I wouldn't say finding looting, but, you know.
As the waters recede, you see something.
Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff, you know. Treasure.
Treasure on the side of the road that floated.
Floated, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, who's to say, you know, something on the side of the road there is worth something of value.
Yeah, I would think, too, you could find things that have been moved around through the flood and the wind.
How many vacation homes are down there on the coast that, you know, people keep stuff at, you know, that
Find neat things.
find neat things.
I like the idea of making your own homemade raft and like creating.
That's even a greater idea. I think that one, if I could go back, would say,
So I would grab a chainsaw, start cutting things up in a house. Let's just try to make a raft real quick.
yeah, have you seen those rafts up in Alaska? They bring all the logs back
And
and stuff.
they lash them together.
Yeah, there's a big river and stuff. They, you know,
You could do that. Like if you can find any foam around your house, that's gonna float.
Yeah.
Empty water bottles, jugs, that's gonna
the cool
float.
thing is like, hey kids, you want to go to the park? Yeah, you know, just hop on the raft. You know,
Yeah.
and then just spend the night there.
Spend the night there. Yeah, I would make like
barbecue grill
I
on
would
it?
make a Huck Finn raft with a tent and everything on it.
Eating shark steaks at the city park.
Eating, yeah, cooking a little alligator tail,
You know.
just living it up. Have a campfire on your raft.
Yeah, I mean, if you need wood and stuff, just paddle to the tree that's still standing and cut you some wood. I bet there's some dead limbs up high that no one could get that you could finally get to.
Or you could just go up to a structure that's kind of already lost.
Yeah, an old barn or something.
Old barn, start up your chainsaw, cut an eave off, burn it.
Yeah. And now you got the solar panels that can help you.
Yeah.
You know, so you're
Get
not
a
like
12-volt system on there. You could be charging your
go
phone.
to your local Harbor Freight there and just go get your
You could be charging your phone
yeah.
on your raft, watching YouTube.
You could be sitting in your hammock on your homemade raft on Facebook and say, "Hey, look, I'm on Facebook." They got a picture of me from the helicopter.
Yeah. That'd be awesome. So you could do a lot. And then they make those college dorm refrigerators. They'll
Okay,
run
here's
off
the
of
other
a solar
option.
panel.
Who would want to go to the big gym or where there's like 5,000 people just camping out and hang out?
That looks like a place that you could get gang raped.
Yeah, that does not look like a family-friendly place.
No. I'd be afraid to take my
Would
kids
you
to
rather stay on the family raft or go to the safe place?
yeah, the safe center, some
Safe
big
center.
coliseum, you
Yeah.
know? What are we, the Romans? They're gathering us up here. I wouldn't trust that. They say those centers are some of the worst places to be.
I would say so because it's very fastly planned, fastly put together. With a large
I mean, they're
amount of
letting
people.
everybody in there. It's just whoever needs a dry spot to lay their head down.
Yeah.
So you got criminals, pedophiles, gang members,
All kinds of things.
your pastors, whatever, and you know, it's funny you throw your pastors in with those other group of guys, but all types of good and bad people having to stay under
Together.
one roof,
Yeah.
and you know there's going to be conflict.
Well,
So,
I think it'd be cool to be able to take your family somewhere and, you know, away from crazy.
yeah, but to be able to, I don't wish that upon me. What's going with some of the families, I feel sorry for them, especially the loss they have
Oh, yeah.
of home and property and stuff, and some
Some
things
people
you'll
lost
never be able to
everything.
replace, and plus the loss of life and pets and things, and that's sad. And I don't mean to make light of it, but the idea of being able to take your family and do something victorious by making yourself a raft out of your house. But, you're talking about these people might have had 45 minutes, an hour. The water's coming into their house. They're going to you're going to be able to make something cool. But I guess if you get to the roof, you can, assess your stuff.
Yeah. I don't know how that you would not know that there wasn't a hurricane coming in Houston.
That's kind of, I heard one person on the mood. I just got up. I was getting ready for work. I got me a cup of coffee, and I looked down, and there was a foot of water in my house. I'm sitting there thinking, why did you think you were going to work?
Yeah, where were you when there's like the 6 inches or the 2 inches, or because it wasn't like, it was a category 4. Even at category 3, you're at 90 to 100 mile an hour winds. I don't sleep well in that kind of stuff.
No. So these people probably really had more than an hour and 40. And that's what I don't like is when the news says, well, they had an hour or 45 minutes to get out of their house. I was like, I don't think so. I think they had a whole week kind of letting them know, hey, stuff's about to get crazy here. Y'all should get stuff together.
There's a lot of prep work, and you saw on the news beforehand.
Yeah. And it's funny how quick some of the great companies prepared, and they're down there helping. H-E-B, hats off to H-E-B.
Oh, yeah.
I worked there as a teenager carrying out groceries. They were a great company, but I gave ultimate respect to them. They have a convoy of trucks with nothing but mobile kitchens, food, generators, all these centers going down there. A private business, family-owned business.
And just think about
dropping thousands and thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of dollars
that
to
business
help out.
And it's probably had a lot of HEBs that flooded too.
Yeah, they're
so
taking
not
a
only
hit.
are they taking care of themselves, but not only are they taking care of others, but they're also victims in some sense too.
Yeah, they are victims in the sense of losing grocery stores and things like that. And they have a huge Houston and South Texas presence. And I'm just I'm going to be an HEB fan for life.
I already liked HEB.
I already liked it, but now they just became cooler. And I wanted to say real quick that they're just really doing a great job. But
I remember one time you was working at HEB, and this real important person came out, and you was carrying them bags, and you was probably, how old were you when you was working at HEB?
16, 17.
And
Couldn't sell cigarettes.
Yeah. So you told me this story. You was carrying out groceries and you pull up and you see this famous person's truck.
Yeah.
And it's written all over his name. And you say, oh, wow, you're so-and-so. And the guy drops the tailgate. He says, yeah, shut up. Put the groceries in the truck.
Yeah. I don't mind saying his name, but
I don't know.
Famous world champion cowboy. But,
Yeah. Cowboys.
Yeah. Yeah. But it was a good learning experience for me. I was a horrible cashier, and they stuck me at carrying out groceries. And you know what? I can put some groceries in some bags, and I can haul some carts. So,
And not smash the bread or crack the eggs.
I was good at that. And it was a great business for a teenager, and I think it's a great first business, and it can turn into a great career for a lot of people.
Yeah.
So, HEB.
Now let's think. If the water hit Stephenville, Texas, say Stephenville, Texas, where I'm from, was on the coast, I would have my goats, my meat rabbits, my chickens, and my bees.
So what are you going to do?
I'm going to make eggs, eat some goat.
You're going to have a barbecue?
And probably have some honey with my tea.
You're going to be doing all right. If
I'll be
the
doing
flood,
fine.
If there was 4 foot, 10 foot.
And I got 6 pecan trees in my yard, probably have it pecan roasted
Goat. So you're ready for it. You're ready for the flood.
I'm ready.
Well,
and I got a canoe.
I'd probably
canoe.
paddle on over and pilfer off you.
Yeah.
And keep the hordes of other people away. But, well, we always need to be prepared for all of nature's natural disasters or nature's
motto,
disaster.
be
prepared. Be the Boy Scout. Be prepared.
You know what I don't understand is being prepared. Is who has a first aid kit in their car?
I do.
I know, right? I think it's strange that people don't have certain things in their vehicle.
Yeah, you should have a fire extinguisher.
Yeah.
You should have a first aid kit.
I learned that fire extinguisher the hard way.
You did. You've had a few engines catch on fire.
Yeah, them carburetors.
carburetors. And I've seen tires catch other stuff on fire, axles
brakes.
and brakes and things like that. So, and if you're pulling a trailer or you got something in your
But
truck,
that first aid kit's not really just made for the car; it's made for life.
yeah.
You know, you could be
You should have a flashlight.
soccer game.
You
could
need
be
a flashlight too. That's another thing, or a headlight. I like a headlight. That's what I keep.
even tools. Like you should have a little bag of like a hammer and some socket sets and some screwdrivers.
Yep.
Nothing big, but something to help you with.
Yeah. You need to be prepared. And people who weren't prepared in Houston and the South Texas area, I mean, some things you just can't be, I can understand some people just didn't have the financial means to prepare or didn't, whatever reasons. There's probably reasons why some people couldn't. But then I think others just thought they could just sit and watch it on TV
Yeah.
and it wouldn't affect them. It's funny how we can be not part of reality. We are so drawn into technology and stuff that we don't take care of ourselves.
Yeah. Technology is sometimes makes you complacent and lazy.
Mm-hmm.
I was driving to work to the barbershop one day, and I saw a guy on the side of the road. He had a flat tire. If it was a single mom or an elderly person, I probably would have stopped and pulled over. But it was a young man with skinny jeans on his cell phone waiting for somebody to come help him. So I just kept on driving.
You should have pulled over and handed him the wrench, the lug nut wrench and the jack, and say, hey.
I probably should have. Looking back on it now, that's probably the better move.
Teach a man to fish. Don't give him a fish, that type of deal.
Yeah. But I thought to myself, this young man should have learned how to do this. He's waiting for his smartphone, waiting for the tire guy to come by and pick him up.
Yep. When the barbershop, we talk about preparedness, and we come in and we think, what people who did not prepare? And so if you ever have a natural disaster coming your way, which can be anybody, a tornado, a mudslide, avalanche, water, flood.
North Korea
wants to, Trump, hacks off North Korea because one of his tweets, like, bad haircut, buddy, or something.
No.
It's funny that the two guys who have the craziest hair
Are leaders.
are leaders.
You think Donald Trump uses a barber?
No.
I don't either.
Yeah, if he had a barber, he wouldn't have that mug.
No joke.
I think he uses spray tan too. He kind of some days he really got the Oompa Loompa thing going.
He does.
Like good nut, buddy. Change the tone of that spray tan. So I've never, for a guy who's so about image, I think good night. He could do better.
Yeah.
But that Ivanka,
She's a pretty first lady.
I think the prettiest first lady we've had since ever.
Well,
Jackie Onassis was pretty.
she was pretty. She was classy.
And she was
They're
classy.
both classy.
They're both classy. Ain't that the way it is? I mean, I got a real classy wife, people who get to know me.
Yeah, she is.
And
She's a good.
I let
Good
my
lady.
mouth run. So me and Trump have things in common.
That's weird. I think I married Trump
You think you married? Yeah.
/ Navy SEAL.
Milton's the classy one in his relationship with his wife. Woodrow, anyway. Well, thanks for coming, my brother, and talking about you and your survival. You would be making a raft with your family, eating goat, eating your eggs,
Yeah.
having your honey. I think this is what I see. You would have a raft that you would make out of stuff around your house, and you would float around your house and camp out, like you say. And you would be a dummy, and you'd put them damn bees on your raft, and like somebody would knock that beehive or hit it, and then y'all would all get attacked by bees on your raft.
So you remember I had those beehives on top of the barbershop, and that big hailstorm came,
Oh yeah.
and I knew that beehives are going to get in trouble, so I put that ladder, and man, that hailstorm started pelting me down. I couldn't handle it. I went halfway up that ladder. It hurt so bad, I came back down. I was like, bees, you're on your own, buddy. And the next thing you know, the storm blew over the beehives, and I was looking down the gutter, and there goes all my dead bees.
Oh, it's sad, huh?
Yeah, I lost 2 beehives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bye-bye, beehives.
Yeah. Well, bees.
Circle of life.
Yeah.
Well, the ending of the show is be prepared. What would you do if you woke up or you were in the midst of a disaster? Would you build and survive or run,
move?
Or run to the hordes of other people and hang out in some center?
Well, hopefully they're smart. They just go ahead and go before that ever comes.
Yeah, that's the smartest thing. Be prepared. Thanks for listening to The Barbershop. I'm your host, Matt.